My name is Lynn Bowdish, and I am the pastor of St. Elizabeth's Episcopal Church here in South San Francisco. I came to serve the parish in 1981, and I've been here for 27 years. I follow in a long line of a proud tradition of the Episcopal Church being here in South San Francisco. It was the first church in South San Francisco, started by the Reverend George Wallace back in 1894, when he met with the leaders of the community to begin a church school. And that followed with the fundraising and then the building of the first building in 1896. It was consecrated on December 13th in that same year. And the rolls of the church contain all the names of prominent people in that time: W.J. Martin, E.E. Cunningham, Plymar, Dan, Charles Johnson, G.B. Sneath, H.G. Miggs, names that we often forget until we go back and read our history. It was in the 1930s, because of a scarcity of clergy, that the Episcopal Church abandoned Grace Church. We joined together with another early community, the Methodist community, to begin St. Paul's Methodist Episcopal Church. Well, that didn't last very long, because the Methodists wouldn't let us have candles on the altar, and something so inconsequential divided the community. We'd made a covenant with the Methodist Church not to build another competing community for 20 years. In that time, one Grace Church, which sat at the corners of Grand and Orange Avenue. No, it was Grand and Spruce was where it was, where the Women's Club now is. It was turned to a rooming house, suffered a fire, and was burned down. And there are very few pictures of this old church, but there is one in the Historical Society here in South San Francisco. Well, the Methodist Church, that early building, still stands, and St. Paul's Methodist Church still stands, but no longer St. Paul's Methodist Church. The Episcopal community, when South San Francisco began to really grow after World War II, then began a second church, St. Elizabeth's, which was on the corner of Orange and El Camino. After 10 years, we were on the move again. We had settled on a piece of property that was too small to house the community that had grown there, no parking, and no way to get more property. So a radical decision was made to go to Country Club Drive, and we now stand at 280 Country Club Drive. But in the midst of that radical move, half the congregation went to San Bruno. So in the last 30 years, St. Elizabeth's has had a time of recovery, some victories, some challenges. And when I came in 1981, it was at the point where the executive officer of the diocese said, "Lynn, I'll give you 2 years. Make it go or close it." And that was a challenge for a newly ordained woman priest that the Episcopal Church wasn't quite sure what to do with women at that point anyway. And I decided to stick it out here, that I would dedicate my life to South San Francisco and the Episcopal Church here, and I will never regret it. It has been a wonderful gift of ministry. St. Elizabeth's is now nestled there on an acre of land with beautiful gardens, with open arms to welcome everybody, just as it began in 1894. It didn't start out as just an Episcopal church. Yes, an Episcopal church, but with arms to everyone, and that's how it remains, and it will always be. We have now handicapped accessible, and all the deferred maintenance of 30 years has been taken care of. And so I couldn't ask for a better life. On a personal level, I am a widow. I was married for 42 years to a wonderful man who shared my ministry. He was a CPA, and it's always good to have somebody who knows about money when you're running a church. And 2 wonderful children, and now 3 grandchildren. I love to sew and knit, and very traditional in those terms. I love to work with tools, which isn't so traditional maybe. I love to garden, and that's why when I looked at the rundown building and the struggling congregation, I could do something beautiful for God. Well, it didn't take much money to do a garden, and it truly has been a gift to God in this community. I have been blessed to be part of the Seton Medical Center Citizens Advisory Council for probably 18 years, and the West Bay Home Health Services, which is part of the Seton Corporation. I've worked with the DA's office in San Francisco and down here in San Mateo County on behalf of seniors and against senior abuse. I've worked with mental health in the area, Shelter Network in establishing residences. If it's there to be done, I will do it. I play the French horn. I'm part of the North Peninsula Brass and Wind Ensemble. And everybody's invited to that too. And we produce 3 or 4 concerts a year for the community. If it's there to be done, I'm more of an activist. And at this point, I'm within a few years of retirement at least, but looking forward to going forth and finding more creative ways to serve God and our fellow human beings. Thank you for sharing this time with me.